Hello and welcome to Geek Newscast episode 6. My name is Jason Taylor. I am joined by Max Andrews and Philip Ford, and we are here to talk about Gotham episode 2, some TV topics over the last week, and then we've got some news lined up for you guys. So, starting with Gotham, I was thoroughly disappointed. I started episode 1, I thought it was okay. I saw ways that they could go that would have made it awesome. I saw ways that they could go that would have made it horrible. And to me, episode 2 just felt like every character was in a different show. The tone doesn't seem very consistent. There's some things that are extremely cheesy. There are some things that are extremely violent, which in a Batman show you would like to see. You want to see a Batman show that's violent. And the Penguin is stuck in a show like Dexter. I feel like Jim Gordon, they're stuck. I don't even know. It just all seems completely off balance. The kid actors, especially Selena Kyle, I just I didn't get. I don't understand. It just seemed like something I'd watch at my child's school play, not on Fox TV. Max, Philip, what are your thoughts? Philip, go ahead.
Um, so it was mediocre. I mean, it was better than I thought it was going to be, which is hard to say. I thought it was going to be awful from what little bit of previews I saw with Bruce Wayne trying to burn himself, and I thought they were going to go more there. Thank God they didn't. Um, and it was mediocre. I mean, I agree with you, Jason. I mean, the parts that were interesting were the Penguin piece. I was like, okay, that's at least different. And then Falcone losing his mind on Fish Mooney was pretty cool and pretty violent. And then that was it. The rest of it was so offbeat. Like, to me, there was such a cheesy scene of like how the girl, I don't even know the name of the woman, but basically the woman that was trying to kidnap all the children lost Selena Kyle in the bus. How? She saw exactly where she was, and then she suddenly, oh, I don't know how to do anything anymore. And then she was suddenly able to find her before. I'm pretty sure she's going to overlook the necklace at this point. She's obviously stupid. Um, so I don't know. Beyond that, I mean, it went way downhill for me. I mean, I thought it was okay. I think it'll stay around, to be honest. I mean, I think it's a show that I could watch, have on the background, and like keep up with it and not really care. I mean, it's that kind of a show. And I think that'll help it keep around, but for me personally, that makes it a 5 at best. There's redeeming points that I can watch 15 minutes of the show and enjoy the show, and while I'm doing my laundry or anything else.
Max?
The show's bad. I feel like it's bad, and not bad because I'm disappointed as a Batman, and I feel like it's bad because it's genuinely bad. Like Jason was saying, they don't know what direction they want to go in. They've got all these elements to it. They're trying to use these child actors like they're good child actors, and they're not. Um, the way they're portraying Bruce Wayne, and, this totally driven child is kind of just not even like they don't have the chops to pull it off, and it's stupid. Catwoman is stupid. Um, they introduced Oswald Cobblepot's mom for no reason at all. I mean, that was just I guess a comedic beat that they had going. Yeah, this these two random supervillains, or I don't want to call them supervillains, but they're two random people that just got kidnapping kids, but they're all Pleasantville about everything, and it was just it was crazy. It was an episode that was all over the place. You have Barbara Gordon endangering Jim Gordon's life, or I guess she's not Barbara Gordon yet, but she calls the newspapers and in Gotham. You're gonna call the newspapers and give an anonymous hit? No, that man is dead now. Like there's a whole bunch of things that just not. Yeah, it's not coming together, and the show is definitely worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. The villains kind of reminded me slightly of Boris and Natasha from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's a perfect
That
description.
that's exactly like I got. It took me an hour to come up with it, but that was the thought that was literally in my mind as I was watching it. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to watch episode 3, but the main reason I'm going to watch episode 3 is so we can talk about it on here. Um,
So I'll be honest, if I get distracted, I won't be paying attention. I'll watch it, but it won't be dedicated.
Almost unwatchable until I hear the watch it. Like I really don't want to. Oh god, it's so terrible. It's just really bad.
if I was DC, I would have stuck with my CW format. Obviously, it's worked really well for them. I mean, Smallville was on for 10 years, Arrow's been on for 3, and The Flash is starting. And The Flash pilot, from what I've seen, is a much stronger show. It's more in vein of Flash, and just I don't understand Gotham. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Mm-hmm. It's the problem.
I liked Enigma. I liked Falcone in this episode, and that was it. And that's only two scenes. They weren't even really long scenes. It's just that was the whole good upside to it. Two scenes.
Yeah, I liked the Penguin too, but we don't get enough of any of them. There's just the good parts are stuffed in the background. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're gonna move on. I mean, if I were to rate the show this episode after last week, which I gave last week a 6.5, I'd give this one a 5. I think I'm right there with you because yeah, I'm there. You gave it a 4 last week, Max. What's your rating?
Three. It's a three. All the things we were talking about, like stay away from the kids. What do they do? Focus on the kids. And then it's like, okay, well, stay away from the villains doing all this dumb crap. What do they do? All the villains are doing all this dumb crap. It's terrible. They're just dropping the ball like they can't even hold on. It's tough. Terrible.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Max, so we've missed talking about Doctor Who over the last 4 weeks because we had a tough time finding the episodes. We're going to get into some spoiler territory about Doctor Who if you have not watched it. I'm a little behind too. I'm going to get caught up over the coming weeks. But Max is going to shed some light, talk a little bit about what's happened, what he thinks about it, and what he thinks might happen in the future. I don't know. Go ahead, Max.
Oh well, the whole thing about this Doctor Who season is they got the new Doctor, but he's an older guy. Peter Capaldi is doing a great job. I think I really like him as the Doctor. Um, you get the feeling like they're gonna let you a little more into how he became the Doctor, and there's a big mystery as to he does something that's kind of unthinkable for the Doctor. So it's good so far. We're like 5 episodes in, and I'm liking it. It's the same ride. So again, I'm having a good time. It's pretty much the same Doctor Who fare as you had since 2005, and yeah, I'm having fun as a Doctor Who fan. Watch it.
Awesome. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna get caught up this week on Doctor Who. So next week we'll be able to have more of a conversation on it. Shield. I started season 2. I honestly, when I watched Shield, I thought episode 1 of last season was kind of weak, kind of getting the same vibe from that I got from Gotham this year. I didn't think it was very good. But I watched season 2, episode 1, and it's a much better show than what I remember. I am not caught up on season 1. I watched episode 1 of season 2 because of the podcast and wanting to be able to talk to Max and Philip about it. So, yeah, I thought the show has improved much, and it's actually piqued my interest to go back and kind of get caught up so I can know a little bit better. But my biggest complaint with Shield when I first started watching is the characters were unlikable and it just seemed like it was long and on a hamster wheel. And with this new episode, I thought the characters were much more human, much more enjoyable, and stuff was actually happening. It wasn't like it's spinning the tire. So, yeah, I mean, the first episode of Shield this season is excellent. Max, Philip, your thoughts?
Yeah. So for me, oh sorry. Um, for me, the first episode was much better. I mean, pretty much the first season got got more interesting after the Captain America 2 event. Um, and then this season was so much more intriguing. It had a lot more back plots. Not to go too much detail, but what they did with oh crud, now I'm forgetting his name. Basically, the male scientist guy, where basically they show you one thing of what you think is happening, and by the end of the episode, you start to realize that it's actually him broken down, which was fascinating. I was like, they were actually willing to take that. I didn't think that show was really that way last year. And then the fact that Phil Coulson, his character is so much more interesting now as the actual de facto leader rather than the referential. Well, I'll do whatever I think is right. This one, he's actually making the hard decisions. I would actually say I really enjoyed this show way more than any of the other episodes. Way more. Max? Hello?
How about now? We good?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know if you heard that, but I was saying I enjoyed episode two. It was great. I thought episode one of season two was better than all of season one combined. I thought.
Yeah, definitely. Well, at least what I saw of it. Philip, can you hear? We're good now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry about that, guys. We're testing new equipment. This is still episode 6 for us. We're still learning the whole podcasting deal, so just bear with us. Max is using completely new equipment, so that's fine. Anyway, moving on to news. There's not a whole lot that happened this past week, but the few news stories we have, we are going to talk about. So, official word out of the Fantastic Four movie is that Sue Storm is actually going to be the one who's adopted. I don't understand why everybody is crying about the black and white issue with them being brothers and sisters. They're adopted. I don't understand the fuss. It's a movie. They're fantastic actors, and if that's the two actors they want for this movie, then we all win. So, Max.
I can't hear Max.
Can't do that, dude. There's this white person and a black person in a family together. How does that make any sense?
I I am going to work on Max's mic. Just give me a second. There, you're really good now.
Am I really super good now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just love those deep bass.
There you go. That's much better.
Yeah.
And we are so sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay, anyway, yeah, so the Sue Storm topic. Max, what are your thoughts on the Sue Storm?
I am 100% against the mixing of races, and I feel like having a black and white child together is unacceptable. I'm offended on many levels, I'm absolutely joking. No, it's fine. It's 100% fine. Um, I can't believe that anyone would have a problem with this because it's a really it's an easy one line of exposition. Oh, she's adopted. Oh, he's adopted. I guess they decided her, which actually that surprises me. I figured he would have been the adopted child, but whatever. That's cool. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's not even a big deal.
Philip?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it'll make for an interesting dynamic actually. So to kind of see what because they can play with a lot more. They can have a lot more character development. Now they don't have to be like each other. So yep, and sounds like everyone can hear us, so we're doing good now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Technology.
otherwise, I think it'll be fun. We'll have to see. That's really where I'm at. I'm on a wait and see.
All right, well, to everyone out there who just got stuck looking at my pretty face and not hearing my sexy, sexy voice, we're sorry.
Well, they can look at your pretty face now, Max, as I speak. Just sit there and smile. Okay, anyway, moving on to topic number 2 in the news. William Shatner confirms that he is in talks to be in Star Trek 3. My thoughts on this are Robert Orci it's his first movie he's directing. They just lost J.J. Abrams, who is a big star, and he went off to do Star Wars. But Abrams is still producing, and apparently Abrams recently reached out to William Shatner to be in Star Trek 3 because they've written him into the script. My thoughts of that, it seems very gimmicky. You've got a third movie coming out. You've lost a huge director to another franchise. You're bringing on a first-time director, and now you're bringing in William Shatner to reprise his role as Captain Kirk. It seems sort of gimmicky. I mean, when I go see it and it's done correctly or whatever, I'm going to be just as excited as the next Trekkie that watches it. But, just from an outsider looking in, it seems a little desperate because, you're obviously trying to build up some positive hype because a lot of the hype surrounding Orci directing this movie hasn't been super positive. Philip, you're a Trekkie. What do you think?
I'm indifferent at this point. I mean, I don't remember how many episodes ago it was, but you all had a discussion about it, and potentially it could be interesting. So we'll have to see. Yeah, I'm indifferent. I mean, at this point, a new director, maybe it'll go a different way. I mean, if they bring him in it, as long as they're not rewriting everything they just did, I would be cool with that if they can continue moving forward, but we'll have to see.
Max, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I'm not a Trekkie, but just from the Geek continuity standpoint, it's kind of be weird to have a future Kirk because Kirk died. So to have a fat old Kirk, you need a young Kirk to live to be fat and old. That's my only real problem with it. So the only thing I can think of that would make sense is that at the end, after they go back in time and bring Kirk back to life, they show a cameo scene at the very end where William Shatner is Kirk and he's all fat and old. So it's going to be kind of stupid and or pointless. Not really stupid.
Pointless. Yeah.
Pointless. And that obviously why do it if it's pointless? But so I don't feel like it's going to contribute anything to the movie, and that's disappointing. But whatever. It's I really enjoyed the first two, so I'll definitely come to see this next one. But I feel like that with the way they've got the storyline going, there's no way to throw William Shatner in there as Captain Kirk except for at the very end of the movie where it won't have any meaning at all.
And I agree. Moving on to Avengers 3. Okay, now this is the most ridiculous piece of news that came out this week.
This is not news. This is unnews.
This is unnews. This is news that's not news. This has been everywhere, so I figured I might as well bring it up. So the report is that the Avengers 3 is going to be split into 2 movies. Now, let me ask this question. How do you split a movie that hasn't even been written yet? Joss Whedon is still finishing Avengers 2, and if you've watched him at Comic-Con or whatever, he had just literally finished the script like during shooting. Like he was still doing rewrites and stuff. So Avengers 3 isn't even a thing. And if they're going to split the Avengers 3 into two films, it's going to be the Avengers 3 and the Avengers 4. Like when they made Star Wars, they didn't make Star Wars and then Empire Strikes Back Part 1 and Empire Strikes Back Part 2. No, they made Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. You can't split something that's not physically anything yet. There is, it's just a
Right.
Max rant.
No, actually, you kind of took all the good talking points there.
Yeah.
No, but no, seriously, try to divide 0 by 2 and see what you get. Yeah, it's pointless. This is like people are flipping out, and because like The Hobbit did it, and Hunger Games did it. They split the last book into 2 movies, or and Twilight did it. And so everyone's like, oh no, now they're just trying to cash grab and blah 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 blah. But it's like, look, man, there's no Avengers 3 book or even comic book that was made that they're taking half of the plot and making one movie and the other half of the plot and making another movie. There's no physical Avengers 3 anything. It's all in people's heads, and they're like, oh crap, this fake movie in my head just got split in 2 and now I'm gonna have to wait. And it's like, okay, well, just don't just think of it as 2 movies in your head and you don't have a problem like at all. So this is not news. There's no real drama at all. It's just people trying to flip out over nothing.
Max, you talk too much. I almost had my point, but you stole it. Stole it. Because I was going to say, yeah, they're going to split Avengers 3 in half. It's going to be Avengers 4.
Yeah, there's multiple movies, but I mean, if they weren't gonna take the plot of Avengers 3 and split it in 2 and make Avengers 3 and 4, they were always gonna make Avengers 3 and 4 and 5 and Avengers through 15 as long as people go see the stupid movies. So no, just here's I got some breaking news for you. They plan to split Avengers 3 7 times.
Yeah, there's no way Kevin Feige does not have this universe planned out. I mean, he's made 11. Is it 11 films? No, it's 9. 9 films so far, and they seem to be doing okay. They seem to know what they're doing, and they seem to have it mapped out. So for him to split the Avengers 3 into 2 films wouldn't really
I think
work.
you have to throw the quotes up there, air quotes, because they're splitting Avengers 3 into 2 movies. That none of this stuff exists.
That I agree wholeheartedly.
That's all the time we're giving this. We're not talking about it anymore.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Kevin Smith has just announced that thanks to Tusk, he has his financing for Clerks 3. Clerks 3 is a movie that I am actually excited to see. I have not seen Tusk yet. I plan on seeing Tusk very, very soon because from what I've heard, it's one of those movies that even if you don't like it, it will make you talk about it. Like you will be in a heated conversation with somebody discussing this movie. Like the visuals stick in your head as to what you just watched, trying to process it. And so I am excited. I like Kevin Smith. I loved Red State. I like Clerks, and Mallrats is one of my personal favorites. But the seriousness, like with Red State, is one of the reasons I'm looking forward to seeing Tusk because I thought Red State was done really well. But to see Kevin Smith return back to the Jersey World, the Jay and Silent Bob, the Dante and Randall. Randall is one of my favorite characters in cinema, and I cannot wait to see him again. There's Max, your thoughts?
No, I'm down. Clerks 3, gotta do it up. I love Jay and Silent Bob. I love Dante and Rand. I love all those. I love the Jersey crew. So I'm down. Do it up. I'm glad Tusk is doing well. I like to see Kevin Smith doing well. So it's all good news as far as I'm concerned. I really have nothing bad to say about that. Bring on Clerks 3. I didn't think Clerks 2 was going to be all that good, and that was hysterical. So, I mean, if you want to try to do it up again, then go for it. You got my $7.
Philip?
I mean, I've not been a big enough of a Kevin Smith movie fan. I like his movies when I watch them, so I'll definitely go watch it. I trust him more than anybody else at this point. Yeah, see, I wish it was only $7 here. Unfortunately, it's $10. So.
Oh no, it's not $7. I'm just old.
Oh. But yeah. So for otherwise, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be funny. And I think he's not trying too hard anymore, like he was when he was trying to make a ton of money. So, like, I loved his offbeat. Oh, what was that horror? Was it a horror movie, action movie, where it was basically
Cop Out.
No, not that one. That one was intended to be funny. No,
You're thinking of Red State, Philip, with
Yes,
John
Red State.
Goodman.
Yes, that was very good.
Yeah, Red State was very good. So yeah, good job, Kevin Smith. Good luck.
All right, moving on to October 31st, they will be re-releasing Saw, the first movie, and I kind of am looking forward to possibly going to see it in theaters. Saw 1 is one of my favorite psychological thrillers, and yes, I say psychological thrillers because unlike the rest of the Saws, which became more about the horror and the murders and
Murder porn.
the torture, but the first Saw is excellent, and I will go on record as saying that it is up there. It's not as good as 7, but it's definitely, in the same conversation. It is a very well done movie, and I don't fault them. They want to re-release Saw because it took over Halloween for 7 years, whether you like the sequels or not, and they were always number one. But like I said, the first one is excellent, and I think there's a whole audience out there that hasn't seen it that really should see it. Max, your thoughts?
Oh no, I really liked the first Saw movie. It was the only original Saw movie, the only one that actually had something going on for it. So I'm down. I'll watch it again. I enjoyed it in the theaters the first time around. I'll enjoy it in the theaters the second time around. Yeah, no, it was good. I'm totally down. I got nothing bad to say about the first Saw movie. Now I actually haven't seen any of the other Saw movies because they were so terrible.
Not even 2.
I saw parts of 2.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty terrible. Didn't that have Donnie Wahlberg in it?
No, that's 3 or 4. It's one of the later ones.
No,
Okay,
2.
well,
2
I
had
feel like-
You
Wahlberg.
had Donnie Wahlberg?
I
Yeah.
feel like once
Wow.
you throw Donnie Wahlberg in the mix, there's no credibility.
Nice.
None at all.
Philip?
Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I go see it in the theater again this time. I mean, to me, it's a great one-time watch. The first time you ever see that movie, it's amazing. Afterwards, it's fun, but it's not as fun as that first watch. And I love that first watch in the theater. It blew me away. I loved it. I went and watched the second one thinking it would be that good, and it wasn't that good, but it was much better than the sequels that followed it. Oh my god, I couldn't
Wahlberg.
believe it got worse.
Okay, and now for my last bit of news before we get on to Max and Philip. The Avengers 2 trailer has been announced that it will premiere with Interstellar. Forget the Avengers 2 trailer for a second, and Interstellar is going to be awesome. I hope it's awesome. The worst movie that Nolan has made so far is Insomnia, and that is still pretty freaking awesome.
No.
It is awesome.
Dark Knight Rises was the worst movie.
Well, I think you're talking about money, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, who cares about the money? The Dark Knight Rises was terrible. It only made a lot of money because people were expecting the Dark Knight, and then they got the Dark Knight Rises. So,
High expectations.
There you go, Kevin Nolan for Chris Nolan for the Dark Knight Rises. That one's for you. Loved all your other movies though.
So for me, I don't know. I'm still not sold on Interstellar yet. I mean, I like him and I appreciate what the movies he tends to make, but I don't know why I need to go watch this movie other than it's him, which right now it's not enough to sell me on it.
I think that this weird kind of movie, and you don't really know what's going on, and you can't really tell a lot of things, and then it's a Chris Nolan movie. It's like back before the disappointment in an M. Night Shyamalan movie. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, oh man, M. Night Shyamalan made this movie. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna go and get my mind blown, and then you realize that M. Night Shyamalan sucks. But I'm excited for this one just because I can't really tell. They show you some things and you don't really know what the movie's even about. You don't know what kind of movie it's going to be because they show you little clips of this really dramatic, really heart-wrenching thing, and then they show you clips of him the spaceship is filling in the water and they all got to do something to get out. So it's a lot of different things they show you. You don't really have a grasp on what's going on, and it's Chris Nolan. So I'm down. I'm definitely down.
Yeah, and then the Avengers 2 trailer at the beginning of it just adds to the
That makes me
excitement.
I mean,
makes me more
yes.
intrigued.
So the first time I go, I'm probably just going to sit through the Avengers 2 trailer and then leave, so I have a fresh, I have it fresh in my mind, and then I'll go watch the actual movie later some other time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Then just breaking news coming from sources on the outside. The Krispy Kreme Ghostbuster donuts are officially available now. So tomorrow you can run out and buy your Stay Puft Marshmallow Man donut at Krispy Kreme, which is apparently awesome. So just want to let all you guys know out there that the Geeky Donuts are out. Philip, what do you got in the realm of video games?
All right, so I'm going to talk about. Last week I talked about games that are coming out tomorrow, so I'm going to try and keep everyone ahead, and I'll be talking about games that are coming out next week. So I'll briefly mention two, just because they're big titles. NBA 2K15, of course. Didn't dive too much into it, but basically improved graphics, improved performance. If you love your NBA 2K games, it's the one to get. What did have a funny little cameo by Kevin Durant on. What show was it? I believe it was a late night talk show. I can't think of the name right now, where he basically said he loves to play as LeBron James. So that was awesome. And then Drive Club is the extremely delayed PS4 game that was supposed to come out during launch. And what's crazy is I tried to find some information because it only comes out in 8 days, and I couldn't find much of anything. What I did find was it's tracks only. It's not entirely simulation, so it's kind of arcade simulation. You can't really make detailed car changes. So all you're really going to be able to do is change the cosmetic looks. You won't really be able to change performance. There are going to be 50 different cars, so that's at least good. And their focus isn't so much on individual competition as team competition. I'm not sure what to make of it. I guess we'll see what happens next week. The one I'm going to focus on is the one if you're into, since Halloween's around the corner and October's coming out, Alien Isolation. So if you love your Alien movies, really, not the games, because the games have generally sucked. This one actually sounds like it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a true survival horror game. It's going to follow the original Alien timeline, so it'll be taking place before the sequel Aliens. Ripley's daughter trying to find Ripley. And you end up basically, they've still left it murky because, of course, they want to keep some mystery. But somehow you end up on the ship, and there's an alien on the ship. There's only one, like the first movie. And your job is less focused on fighting and more on surviving. You can craft and make weapons, but that's generally more to defend yourself against the people that are on this ship that are acting. Because some of them will just apparently just shoot you on sight just because they don't trust anyone, and other ones will actually not really work with you. The debate is whether or not they're actually going to have any help, but we'll find out next week. And then the AI actually, and this is the cool part, hunts by sight, sound, and smell. So if you make a noise, the alien will hear you. Now, if it sees you, you have a chance to hide, but if it can smell you, actually when you're hiding, you can actually hold your breath. You actually have to hold a button and hold your breath while you're hiding in the locker and the alien is in front of you. I mean, it's like, that's awesome. And there will be no HUD, so you won't really get taken out of it. Whenever you pull up, the old school alien motion tracker, your focus will be on that. And so you'll see a little bit what's in the background, but it'll be blurred. It'll be like when you're staring at your phone in the real world, where you can't really see what's going on. So that'll be a very bad day when you pull up your alien motion tracker and it starts beeping at you, and you're like, oh, that's right in front of me, and you got to put it down, your alien lunch.
Face sucker.
Exactly. So I definitely think it'll be a fun game. I actually think it'll be a really good game. It's a game I'm looking forward to. I'll definitely be playing it, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to hit me up.
All right, is that all in the video game news?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yeah, Alien Isolation is definitely a game I'm personally looking forward to myself. I've read nothing but good things, and yeah. Max, what do you got for us? And there's been a few requests in the chat board to kind of circle around back to your Doctor Who, since some people couldn't hear that, so if you want to work that into what you're doing now.
All right, well then I'll just blast through. I got a few things. Reading The Death of Wolverine. These are actually pretty good. Go ahead and give them a look out. They got 1 and 2 out right now. I think three's coming out soon. I'm not
That
sure.
I think 3 and 4 actually. I think
Three
4
and four.
just came out.
4 actually came out. Okay, so yeah, I'm behind. So catch up with me. Death of Wolverine is actually pretty fun. I also read this Star Wars book that's for teenagers. It's kind of crappy, so I don't actually suggest it. But but we might do a podcast over that too. The Harley Quinn annual is coming out here, and it's scratch and sniff. So I suggest picking that up. That's really the only actual comic book news I had. I'm probably going to get it myself. Who doesn't want to scratch and sniff comic book? That's great. I thought that's totally in line with the character. It's something they could do for Harley Quinn or Deadpool or something like that, and they did it. So yeah, that's great. I'm really excited about that one. And yeah, that's all the actual comic book news I have. But Legend of Korra, if you watch that show, that cartoon on Nickelodeon, they had a lot of trouble this past season where it was half on television, half online. They're releasing season 4 online starting October 3rd every week. So if you guys are into that, make sure you get it online and watching that because it's coming out soon.
That sounds good. I'm going to just take 1 second and say that if anybody has any topics that we missed that we should discuss, please message one of the three of us via Facebook or Google
Google
Plus.
Chat.
We'll
Yeah.
be more than welcome to give you a shout out and answer the question or bring up the topic. Max, did you have something else?
Doctor Who. Yeah, back to Doctor Who. I'm really liking this new season. I like the new Doctor. He's an older guy, and there's a lot of mystery as to why he's an older guy, and that's kind of the theme, the overriding theme of the season so far. And I'm really liking it. I mean, so far he's pretty much the same Doctor Who fare. He's doing zany things and saving people, but there's an undercurrent, a kind of darker undercurrent of I think you get to really find out who the Doctor is and what got him going in the way that he's going right now, and they allude to some darker happening that the Doctor does that this specific Doctor is in charge of. So I'm pretty excited about this season. I'm liking it. The only Doctor I actually didn't like was David Tennant. So I mean, this Doctor's pretty good. I don't have any problems with him. I mean, I know everybody's got their own Doctor, but this guy's pretty good. No, I'm liking him. I'm liking it a lot.
Okay, is that all we have for this evening? I believe so. Just to let everybody know, the shows that we will be following on Geek News are Gotham, as long as it's on the air, Arrow, Flash, Constantine. Um, I know that some of us will be following other miscellaneous shows like Sleepy Hollow, and I'm sure we'll talk about Once Upon a Time from here and there. True Detective 2 when they air it. Elementary, I know Max watches it, so that might come up from time to time.
You don't have to tell people, man.
And Sherlock. So yeah, that's all we got. We have a live cast of Star Wars Episode 1 review coming up soon. We don't have an exact date. It will be sometime in the next week and a half. So look for that.
Is that going to be 2 hours of us watching the movie while we're talking about how crappy it is?
No, it'll be us watching the movie and then getting on here and talking about how crappy it is with
Okay.
all of our friends. Thank you to the 6 people that listened to us on here today live. That was really cool. That's more than we had last week consistently, so we appreciate it. We're sorry for all the technical difficulties. We promise next time we'll have it under wraps. We did practice beforehand and had it all worked out, but you know how it goes. There's always bugs when you do something live. From next week, though, our newscast will not be live. We will be recording it sometime later Monday evening and then distributing it. But like I said, our Star Wars will be live, and then we'll do some live TV show stuff. And like last week when they announced Deadpool, if another announcement like that comes out, we'll do a live cast almost immediately because it's fun. Anyway, I'm going to let everybody say goodbye, but right now my name is Jay, and see you later, Max.
All right. Well, yeah. We'll see you later, Jay. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time. This is your Geek News.
All right, and this is Phil, and thank you all for listening. Have a good night.
You too.